Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Friday, it will be breezy with rain. Our highs will be in the mid-60s. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy and breezy with lows in the mid-40s. For tomorrow, Saturday, early cloudy skies will become partly cloudy later in the day. Our highs will be in the upper 60s. For Saturday night, we will see partly cloudy skies in the evening, giving way to a chance for occasional showers on the overnight. Our lows will be near 50. For the long-range outlook, we will see chances for rain over the weekend, with partly sunny skies in the new week as temperatures will be in the 60s to 70s. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
It's gonna rain!
Just so everybody knows, we're going to have some of them there.
I don't know why we have Kevin James banter on like that when we can just, push the button.
We just push the button.
It's going to rain!
It's going to rain! So there's your forecast for today. There is the risk of severe storms.
Yep.
So we're going to have the thunder boomers. There's even a risk for isolated tornadoes, so keep that in mind.
Late spring finally decides to show up. It shows up, with the whole works.
With the whole works.
Everything. You're going to have really warm temperatures, really warm overnights. You're going to have some thunderstorms. You're going to have going to rain.
It's going to rain. Oh, yeah. It's Mother Nature's throwing the whole cookbook at us today.
Yeah. No, as mentioned, Al, I had a little fun on the way here. The tire was round almost all of it. Just that little part on the bottom.
Reminds me of the what's his name there, Bill Engvall. He's the Who's Your Sign guy. Or Here's Your Sign. Yeah, he said. He says, my wife asked me, she says, you got a flat tire? I said, nope, those other three just swelled right up on me. Yeah.
So we are actually looking to be into the 70s today. We're going to have some thunderstorms passing us by.
Yeah.
Saturday's looking gorgeous.
Gorgeous day.
I mean, it is looking like the kind of day that we want to have. That we've been looking for.
And get this, it's falling on the weekend.
On a Saturday. Wow.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, God.
Hallelujah.
So, in thanking God as starting out our day, let's go forth in prayer. Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for a new opportunity to praise you and your creation. We pray, Lord, for health and wisdom. And Father, we pray as we enter this day that we hear your word, walk in your steps, that we be filled with your Holy Spirit and manifest your greatness, your goodness, and your love here on this earth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
First on your FM dial, WVVC Dolgeville, Utica, Rome. Inspo Radio 88.1 FM.
All of my sin erased,
Hey. Hey, it's going to be a nice day.
Yeah, hey. 7:05 on a Friday. It's reopening day, which means almost nothing different than yesterday. But manufacturing gets to reopen, and more businesses will be open for curbside. So there's that.
Curbside.
Curbside pickup. That's right. Which means you still have to navigate their websites in most cases to figure out how to order stuff to pick it up curbside. But, so that should be interesting. I know I used to do the Walmart, where you order ahead and then pick it up. And I could, order that at 9 a.m., and then pick it up at 5. No, if I ordered it at 9 a.m. today, I might be able to pick it up at 5 p.m. on Wednesday. That's how far out they are. But,
Yeah, Walmart is, the curbside is backed up, huh?
A little bit. Hannaford is getting ready to do Hannaford to go, same kind of thing. But, and this is just my personal opinion, Hannaford's you add 20% to everything, and that's what you pay for your groceries. They're going to be doing Hannaford to go.
I thought they already had that.
Maybe they did, but they're making a much bigger deal out of it now.
Oh.
They're changing signs on the buildings.
They're emphasizing it?
They're emphasizing it. Mm-hmm. That's right. So there's that going on. Best Buy's been doing the curbside thing, and of course they were saying that electronics are obviously essential because, well, this is how everybody's communicating. Except all of the materials to make that happen were sold out within the first 2 weeks of the coronavirus thing. And now that factories are shut down, a lot of the products are not on the shelves. I don't know if you've been to a Walmart recently, but people with stimuluses, they're like, hey, I think I want to buy a TV. Oh, wait, there are none. There's nothing.
There's no TVs.
There's no TVs. There's no laptops. There's none of that. It's gone. All sold out. Just crazy times here in the world when everything is shut down thanks to all Corona all the time. And, it's time for some headlines there, Walt.
Now, your local headlines from the Breakfast
And, of
Club.
course, headlines brought to you by Dr. Uniforms down there on Oriskany Street West in Utica. If you are in need of chef stuff, scrubs.
Nurse scrubs, policeman stuff, the little accessories. Good shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. Their phone number.
Actually, Katie went there for good shoes because Katie works on her feet all day long when she's working on a movie set.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. 315-266-0093. And in the headlines today, crews quickly extinguish a barn fire last night in the town of Trenton. Okay, fire crews from at least 3 departments responded to that barn fire. Crews from Holland, Patton, Barneveld, and Stittville were called right around 7 p.m. last night to a barn fire on Powell Road. Okay, the barn was pretty much just used for storage, so no injuries reported as a result of the fire. And, of course, it is under investigation. And police investigate a threatening call made to the North Utica Walmart. Police were called to Walmart North Utica around 1:20 yesterday after someone called the customer service line and made a threat to the store and its customers. When officers arrived, they contained the store, did a security sweep, and you can imagine what they found. They found nothing. Exactly.
Did they find toilet paper?
Probably not. This is Walmart. They did not find any evidence of a credible threat. Okay. Criminal Investigation Division looked into the source of the call, found out that the number that call was made from was disconnected. And
it must have been one of those 800 numbers.
Yeah, it could be. And the other thing I've noticed is a lot of scammers seem to be able to spoof numbers.
Yeah.
So they can take a number that doesn't even exist. So they're assuming it's coming from outside the area. Police say they're going to release updates on the incident as they arise, and police will be keeping a presence at that Walmart for, well, they're saying the foreseeable future.
In case any people with no phone numbers try to...
Exactly.
I guess.
Now, here's a story for you, and this makes no sense. Okay, in the town of Winfield, yesterday morning, right around 7 a.m., okay, neighbors in a trailer park in West Winfield, actually it's Cedarville, town of Winfield, but it's Cedarville, said they were awoken by a loud bang just to look out their windows and see a SWAT team invading a trailer in that trailer park, okay? Yeah.
I know what that sounds like.
Yeah, heavy police presence, but here's the thing. It was Homeland Security responding to this trailer It was a combination of the state police and Homeland Security. Witnesses say that a woman and 2 others believed to be her parents were taken out of the home, all right, by what looked like a SWAT team wearing Homeland Security jackets. And state police have confirmed that it is a Homeland Security case. So they're not releasing any other information.
What is that deep when you got your cell phone and they're following you?
Oh, yes. The
deep tracking?
Yeah, the deep trace, yeah.
Probably somebody went in the living room without a mask.
Yeah, it could very well be. Oh, and here's one. In a case of either extreme desperation or extreme stupidity or some combination of the two, New Hartford police have arrested a man accused of attempting to rob 2 separate stores on Wednesday. Okay,
There's no money in the first one?
Apparently not. Police say 31-year Cody, and I'm going to totally mangle this name, Mule Granch, allegedly walked into a Cliffs local market at 17 Genesee Street just before 10 a.m. yesterday, handing the cashier a note instructing her to empty the cash from the register and she would not get hurt. He suggested he had a gun in his jacket pocket. The cashier refused to give him money and told him to leave the store.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. And then later that day, police received another attempted robbery call from West Utica and were able to find the suspect in that incident. After investigating, they determined it was the same person. He was arraigned after his arrest, and get this, he's actually being held without bail.
Oh?
They're not putting him back on the street. Holy cow. Holy cow. I didn't know that was a thing. But then again, there's still plastic bags out there. So apparently coronavirus has put everything on hold, all these law things that they were doing. So it's all good.
Yeah. Maybe
it's all good.
Curbside.
Yes. Yes, got the curbside going on there. Yeah, and that's what's going on locally. What's going on outside?
Oh, don't jump around the world yet. We still got some local news.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, great political import.
We do?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yesterday, Kimmy was in the garden.
Yeah?
And she says, Walt. And I go running out. The beehive swarmed. And there was a cloud of bees that swarmed from the hive, went down the middle of Main Street, and I used an old wives' tale that I heard of, and I'm like, this has really got to be something. So those people in New York Mills that I kind of excited yesterday.
Yeah.
They saw a guy walking down the street clanging pots. There's a wives' tale about bees, a bee swarm, that if you ring a cowbell, it will help the bees settle. So what I want to try to find a spot where the bees will settle, where I can gather the swarm and bring a bee box and get them into the bee box. So here I am. The bee swarm actually went down for about a block, right down Main Street, and cars were driving right through the thing. There was a pedestrian on the other side of the road. He says, yeah, I see it. I'm going around. And, so it goes in somebody's backyard, and here I am walking along with a couple of big pots that I grabbed. Bang, bang, bang. And I managed to, it actually seemed to work. And the bees settled down on a tree trunk about maybe 8 feet up. So I go back, I get the car, I get a ladder, and I get my bee gear. And I was actually able to scoop the bees up, get them into the bee box, and Katie and I went back just at dusk and brought the bees back to home.
So did you freak out the neighbors?
I probably did, So luckily there were no 911 calls, or anything like that. But I did have a woman in a cell phone walk into her backyard, talking on the cell phone and looking at me like, "What are you doing here?" I'm banging my pots.
Oh man! If you see a strange man with pots in New York Mills, rest easy.
He's chasing the bees.
It's just Walt chasing bees.
Yeah.
Oh man! Yeah, I called you because I had some information to tell you yesterday, and Kimmy answered the phone. She goes,
"Oh yeah,
yeah. Walt can't come to the phone right now. He's chasing bees." I'm like, what?
And we do have other great local political news.
We do?
Yeah. The FM translator for WVVC has been approved in Rome.
Yes, it has. Now, what that means is at this point, we now start the build-out process.
Yeah?
Yeah, so we will, keep everybody updated when it's ready, and actually when it's turned on, it'll be a nice surprise.
So WVVC is getting bigger and better.
Bigger and better.
Because there's going to be more Walt and more Al.
Yes.
Ooh.
You didn't think you could handle more of us, did you? And here we are, bringing you more. We bring you more.
Okay, so now let's go around the world.
Okay.
And, all that other good kind of stuff. Okay, this one really kind of like, I am like, when I saw this headline, DNC Communications Director. Convention must happen because we are not officially nominating Joe Biden.
Oh.
That's what I was doing. I'm like, well, isn't that what the Democratic primary is for? Isn't that why Democrat registered voters go out so they can pick who they want to be running for president? So, but according to, and we had name issues before. Here we go again. Zodikul Hinojosa, communications director for the Democratic National Committee, sparked confusion this week after stating during an appearance on Fox News that it is a crucial time for the party to hold its convention because they are not officially nominating Joe Biden in order to take Donald Trump.
Is Zodiga, is it a man or a woman?
She's a woman.
She's a woman. Okay, so let's call her Sue. All right. DNC chairwoman.
Zodikul, the communications director for DNC.
Okay, her name's Sue. From here, yeah, communications director Sue.
Hinojosa.
If it was a man, it would have been Bob. Director Bob.
First of all, our convention has to happen because we are not officially nominating Joe Biden in order to take Donald Trump. So our convention is happening. There's business that has to happen. And Lauren Boebert, a Republican from Congress in Colorado District Number 3, said, he tweeted this. Someone should probably tell Joe Biden that the DNC communications director just said this on national television.
Yeah, somebody wake Joe up from his nap and let him know.
Poor Joe, he probably doesn't know what's going on.
Well, they got to wake him up to take his medication soon anyway, so you may as well let him know.
We'll have more Joe later on if we don't run too long. Now, and we talked yesterday. There were a couple of congressional wins for the Republicans. One seat was held, and Donald Trump celebrates those two great congressional wins in Wisconsin and in California. Big congressional win for California for Mike Garcia, taking a seat back from the Democrats. This is the first time in many years that a California Democrat has flipped a seat back to Republican. And also in Wisconsin, Republican Tom Tiffany easily beat Democrat Tricia Zunker by 15 points in Wisconsin.
Wow.
So, again, on the Wednesday elections, there were two red scores there. A Michigan judge sides with the barber, rejecting Gretchen Whitmer's, the Michigan governor, demand to close the shop. So the barber that has kept his shop open, and he kept his shop open because his unemployment ran out.
Yeah.
So he was closed for a while. He ran out of unemployment, and he said he tried to reapply for unemployment 3 times and could not get it.
Yep.
So he's got no unemployment, and he's supposed to stay home and not do anything. So he reopened his barber shop.
Yep. I thought I had read somewhere that they had temporarily taken his license away.
I did not see that in this report.
I'll have to look into that. I saw it last night when I was settling into bed. I like to get out the iPad, and I could have sworn I saw that.
I did not see that. The Attorney General asserted that Mr. Mankey's open business presents clear and public health dangers, and the court refused. So Mr. Mankey scores a victory against the Michigan governor.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, and now, you know how we were talking about the these cases, especially like with our good general? Mr. Holder, the Attorney General under Obama, says that Attorney General Barr has supported the effort to keep documents away from Congress and is doing all that he can do to weaken the DOJ. Now, we have been reporting again and again and again how the Democrats have been stifling, especially Adam Schiff. Remember a few weeks back that Adam Schiff was doing everything he could to get those handwritten notes not released in front of Congress. So it kind of like is pretty amazing for Mr. Holder to be saying that Barr is actually holding back materials when it's the Democrats that are like, there was no Russia investigation. There's nothing to see here. For 3 years, we are not allowing you to see any of the investigative documents that we use.
Hey, I want to go back to the barber quick. Okay, in the New York Times, this is from yesterday. State officials said Carl Menke's decision to reopen his shop during the coronavirus pandemic jeopardized public health and safety. Let's see here. It says the barber who reopened his shop in defiance of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's orders had his business and professional licenses suspended on Wednesday in the latest step in his escalating battle with the state.
Oh.
Yeah, the barber, who has been cutting hair for almost 60 years, likened Miss Whitmer, her policies to a police state. He said he plans on cutting hair even though his licenses are suspended.
See, now they can get him on another one.
That's it.
Okay, so the judge says it's okay for you to go ahead and open up your barber shop. Oh, we'll just take away your license.
So you can
now we're going to get you on. Yeah,
you can bet the governor pulled the string on that one, saying, "Oh, he does this. Okay, well we're going to do this.
Yep,
make it impossible."
Yep.
See, this is the problem with some of these
overzealous.
Yes.
Nazi governors.
Yep. It's crazy.
Is that what? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like, and General Flynn, we're coming after you. Doesn't matter if you're a barber.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
I mean,
doesn't matter. You don't listen. You don't fall in line. We're coming after you.
And do what the deep state says.
That's right.
Then we're going to come get you.
We're going to come get you.
Yeah, those deep state Nazis.
Oy.
Okay. So, believe it or not, the sexual allegations against Joe Biden also extend to female Secret Service agents.
Huh.
Al, close your ears. You're a little young for this.
Okay.
It seems that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, he would have this female contingent of Secret Service agents that would follow him. He liked to go nude swimming.
Are you kidding me?
Every day.
That is nasty.
When he was at home. And so he would disrobe in front of the female Secret Service agents and have to go swimming in the morning.
I thought you were going to say he gets handsy. I was going to say,
every day.
Isn't that yesterday's news?
Maybe there is a protocol for when government officials get a little handsy with those kind of people.
I've seen some of those Secret Service agents. They could probably break his hand,
Yeah,
break his arm.
To imagine that a vice president would strip down in front of female agents. And because he has to go swimming, and not just once, but very often.
Yeah. Seems like he was taking advantage of the office there a little bit.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Also, McConnell says there is a high likelihood that the Senate will pass another stimulus bill, but he also said there is a high likelihood it's not going to be anything like what the Democrats have already proposed.
Are you kidding me? $3 trillion to stinking, protect illegals. That's what that is.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And actually, none of it's for me or you.
No.
Probably.
No.
It's for the church Nazis.
Yeah.
No singing in church.
Well, this is the thing that kills me. The Democrats, there's AOC was saying that we should be getting, $2,000 this month and then $1,000 every month until a year after coronavirus has passed. Well, that's passed. Yes. Now, that sounds wonderful as a person, as an individual thinking, wow, an extra $1,000 every month. That's wonderful. But then if you look at it, as a responsible person, you're like, I didn't earn that money.
Yeah.
It didn't come from anywhere.
Al, you didn't do that.
Yeah.
That's not yours.
That is a case where I didn't earn that. So why in the world is it coming to me?
Yep.
I don't even know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is.
Speaking of more crazy stuff, check this out. John Brennan suppressed intel saying Russia wanted Hillary Clinton to win. And it actually says that the House Intelligence Committee staff told me after an exhaustive investigation reviewing intelligence and interviewing intelligence officers, they found that Brennan suppressed high-quality intelligence suggesting that Putin actually wanted the more predictable and malleable Clinton to win in the 2016 election. And meanwhile, he forwarded low-quality intelligence saying that Russia was mixed in. So he actually knew, he suppressed high-quality intelligence saying that Putin really wanted Clinton to win.
Yep.
And meanwhile, let's forward this position, which is actually false.
Yep.
And we know it's false. So there you go. That's the CIA working for you, you know, trying to, as we said, overthrow the duly elected president.
We have an issue in America and government and everything today, and it's called, everything's partisan. Everything is partisan. And it seems to be in journalism, it's in government, it's, it's everywhere. It's us versus them. Mm-hmm. And when you've got us versus them in government and you've got us versus them in the media, you got a major
issue.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
We're all Americans. Why can't
because
people...
I remember when I was a kid and I was expecting that the media would just tell me what the news is and not do their slant on the news and not do the other slant on the news.
There was a day when it happened that way.
Actually, probably the day it broke could be when Walter Cronkite was one of the most trusted news sources in America, takes a part of his newscast and he does a commentary on the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And he said, we cannot win this war.
Yeah.
Well, in Walter Cronkite's view, who, was all through World War II and watched World War II, and World War II was a regular war.
Yeah.
If I could call it. You had guys in uniforms on that side, you had guys in uniforms on the other side, and there were front lines, and, everybody was badged up, and you went and you fought each other. Well, in Vietnam, they did not play the game. Right. Why would I play a game I know I'm going to lose if I play by your rules?
Right.
So North Vietnam was actually pretty smart, and actually is because Ho Chi Minh spent a lot of time in America.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, look, we don't play that. We'll play the game by our rules. And there's all sorts of other stuff. But actually, when Walter Cronkite started commentarying, now there was actually a point in Vietnam where we could have won the war. Yeah. It was very late in the war, but we were actually changing our tactics around because we actually learned how to play their game that they were playing. So you actually have to turn the people in the village around and make them understand that, hey, this is going to be better for you if we all get through this.
Yeah.
But by then, Nixon had his hands tied, and the Democrats were roping him around with, he lied.
Yeah.
And it's not okay for Nixon to lie, but, Bill Clinton did not have sexual relations with that woman. Clinton gets on TV and lies in front of our face. Did the same thing that Nixon did, but he gets away.
He gets away with it.
With basically.
That tends to be the way.
Nancy, I want you to know that Nixon resigned to keep honor in the office.
That's it.
Not like some people actually had the Bigornies to do, shall we say. So we're actually running a little on the long side.
A little bit.
Just a wee bit.
It's 28 minutes past 7 o'clock, and your weather forecast.
Oh, I was going to review the B report.
Okay, let's do that. No, your weather forecast.
The weather forecast is brought to you by Media Partners Group. 768-0277. Get those old videotapes and films changed to DVD or a memory device that you can put in your computer, and you can watch them right on your computer.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Friday, it will be breezy with rain. Our highs will be in the mid-60s. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy and breezy with lows in the mid-40s. For tomorrow, Saturday, early cloudy skies will become partly cloudy later in the day. Our highs will be in the upper 60s. For Saturday night, we will see partly cloudy skies in the evening, giving way to a chance for occasional showers on the overnight. Our lows will be near 50. For the long-range outlook, we will see chances for rain over over the weekend, with partly sunny skies in the new week as temperatures will be in the 60s to 70s. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
Wake up, get up and get going. The Breakfast Club.
WVVC-FM.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the go. You know the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Biden Joe to the old folks' home, 'cause his mind don't even work no more. Gonna take Biden Joe to the old folks' home, 'cause his mind don't even work no more. Corn popping Cadillacs, Lady Gaga's got my back. I can't remember Jack, 'cause my brain is melted wax. We hold these truths to be self-evident, you'll see. All men and women are created, you know the thing. Can't even remember nothing. I don't even know why I'm running. I can't even remember nothing.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude.
If there's no teleprompter, I begin to stutter. Blonde leg hairs in the water. Can I sniff your daughter? Challenge you to push-ups. Tell the working man to shut up. Socialists are fed up. Bernie, you've been set up. Can't even remember nothing. I don't even know why I'm running. I can't even remember nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna take Biden Joe to the old folks' home, 'cause his mind don't even work no more. Gonna take Biden Joe to the old folks' home, 'cause his mind don't even work no more.
That's a stupid way to say it.
You know, Donald Trump was asked that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, probably best I don't.
Sometimes we're funny, sometimes we suck.
We don't feel ready, we don't feel steady. Question what we really have to give. Stay where it's safer. Claim faith but waver. Is this how we're really meant to live? We pray but never move. We say but never do. It's time to get our hands dirty. Oh, 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 oh. Be loved, there's a whole lot of hurting. Oh, 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 oh. Calling our hearts, calling our hands, calling our feet to take a stand. Why sit around and wait for a miracle to come? When we can be one, when we can be one, when we can be one. A little something might feel like nothing, but in his hands it's all we'll ever need. To speak life to the broken, watch the blind eyes open. It's who he's calling you and me to be. It's time to get our hands dirty. Oh, 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 oh. Be loved, there's a whole lot of hurting. Oh, 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 oh. Calling our hearts, calling our hands, calling our feet to
Why you ever chose me has always been a mystery. All my life I've been told I belong at the end of the line, with all the other not quite, with all the never get it right. But it turns out they're the ones you were looking for all this time. 'Cause I'm just a nobody, trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul. Ever since you rescued me, you gave my heart a song to sing. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus.
Moses had stage fright, and David brought a rock to a sword fight. You picked 12 outsiders nobody would have chosen, and you changed the world. Well, the moral of the story is everybody's got a purpose. So when I hear that devil start talking to me, saying, who do you think you are? I say, I'm just a nobody, trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul. Ever since you rescued me, you gave my heart a song to sing. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus.
So let me go down, down, down in history as another blood-bought, faithful member of the family. And if they all forget my name, well, that's fine with me. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. So let me go down, down, down in history as another blood-bought, faithful member of the family.
That's all I ever wanna be.
And if they all forget my name, well, that's fine with me. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus.
'Cause I'm just a nobody, trying to tell everybody all about somebody who saved my soul. Ever since you rescued me, you gave my heart a song to sing. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus. I'm living for the world to see, nobody but Jesus.
The Breakfast Club on Inspo Radio WVVC FM.
I will follow you through green pastures and sing hallelujah to your name. I will follow you through dark disaster and sing hallelujah through the pain. And even in the shadow of death, I will praise you. And even in the valley, I will say,
WVVC 88.1 FM. So we've kind of hit all the bases this morning. It's, let's see, off the top, it's reopening day today. Number 2.
It's gonna rain.
And number 3, there's a
bee swarm.
The bee swarm, yeah. Yeah. So we've kind of hit all the bases.
And we got our translator application.
Yes.
Finally
approved.
How long did that take? 9 months?
It took a long time, man. That's the thing with the government. Sometimes you send something in, it's like the next day you hear something, and then sometimes it's like, well, it's all Corona all the time right now. All
Al,
Corona.
you know the government is
all
seeing and all wise.
Yes.
And
contact tracing, yes.
No haircut for you.
No haircut for you. No haircut. No singing. No haircut.
No singing in church. No haircuts.
No singing while getting
unless
a
you're
haircut.
a politician. Politicians can get haircuts.
That's right.
If you take a look at Governor of Michigan Whitmer, I think her hair looks kind of nice.
Yep.
Emperor Andy's hair looks great.
My children all got haircuts last night. And that was
what did you do?
That was courtesy of my wife because she said, enough. Everybody's starting to look shaggy.
Actually, I was going to do that, but I was afraid that Kim would cut my hair, a little about my Adam's apple.
That's the wrong side of my head, dear.
Not really. Now I'm just going to get it chopped off right just above the collarbone.
Just right above the collarbone, yeah. Nah, she's known where you slept for a long time. If she was going to take you out, it would have happened a while ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, the government is all-knowing and all-seeing, but let's actually go to where things are all-knowing and all-seeing.
Yes.
Yep. So we're going to go to Proverbs 21. Actually, it's Proverbs 15, line 21, because not even us radio guys are all-knowing and all-seeing, despite what you may have heard on the radio. Okay, 15:21. Folly brings joy to one who has no sense.
Okay.
Did you get that, Al?
I got that.
Folly brings joy to one
Are you directing that at me?
Has no sense. But whoever has understanding keeps a straight course. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. The path of life leads upward for the prudent, to keep them from going down to the realm of the dead. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he sets the window's boundary stones in place. The Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but gracious words are pure in his sight.
Colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love begins. Every word of every story, every star in every sky. Every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. Every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart will speak what love has done.
oldie right there from Avalon. It's called Testify to Love.
That's a cool one.
That is. It's a good one.
Good Smiley Face Friday song.
Yeah, 7:50 right now. Actually, 7:49, almost 7:50 right now in the Breakfast Club.
7:49, 53, 54, 55.
Yeah, and it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Lots of great stuff on
we
Friday.
Got cool stuff coming on this Friday. Not only are we going to be in the 70s.
Yes,
hallelujah. With a little bit of rain, just enough
just
rain to make your garden like really happy.
Yeah, just a touch of rain.
Not too bad, not too bad. But we also got a couple cool things coming up. Miss Kimmy is going to join us in person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had some very cold weather earlier in the week, remember?
I kind of do, yes. I remember that white stuff the first part of the week, and now mid-70s
We had
storms.
some big frost and stuff like that. And Kimmy was out in the garden yesterday, as testified by the bee report that we had earlier when Walt is walking around chasing bees with pots and pans. And
I would have paid to see you walk around New York Mills with pots, banging them together.
I was looking over my shoulder because I'm like, how many people are going to think that the loony bin
I was going to
truck-
say, how many people are going to think that the insane asylum there.
So just in case you weren't with us earlier for the top of the hour news last hour, there's a wives' tale that says if bees swarm, and beekeepers want to keep their bees, so they want to get the swarm to settle as fast as they can. If you ring a cowbell, it makes the bees settle down, and they won't move away. So I was actually walking along New York Mills yesterday with a couple of pots because I don't have a cowbell. And when the bees arrived at a spot that I liked, I was clanging the pots. And actually, it seemed to do the trick. It seemed to get them to settle down.
Well, there you go. A wives' tale proven positive by Walt. Right
Yes,
there.
Apparently so.
Apparently so. Yeah. Oh
I mean, was the magical clanging actually the thing that made the event? Scientific things. Maybe we should get some COVID scientists on this, and they can verify.
Well, what they'll do is verify that it doesn't work and find a very expensive thing that does work that they
I
can
think
profit
we're going to
on.
need a committee.
A committee.
Yeah,
yes.
we should get a committee.
We could get a
bipartisan committee.
A bipartisan bee clanging committee. Let's work on that. Yeah.
And then we have to do cowbell versus pots and pans, because
yes, absolutely.
All right, so this is going nowhere.
Also, we've got the Breakfast Club, our swag bag drag going on today.
The swag bag. Alan's going to bring out the swag bag today.
Yes.
So if you are a member of the Breakfast Club, then Al may pick your name and you could be a winner. But if you are not a member, you still have about an hour.
Yep.
Before Al reaches into the swag bag and before Al pulls out a name. So join the Breakfast Club by going to
WVVCutica.com. Click on the Breakfast Club and fill out the form. That's all you gotta do. It's easy.
It's amazing.
Even a caveman could do it.
Oh, and I think that Al has something rather sweet in the swag bag today.
Oh, I do.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Wake up and go, 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 go. The Breakfast Club. WVVC.
It's okay if you're not okay. It's not gonna end this way. Today is the day to change. It's the time, it's the place. All that you're locked inside is ready to come alive. Embrace your great design. Now's the time. Lift your eyes. I don't have to fear 'cause I trust His love. I know where my help comes from. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. There is no mistake I could ever make. It's gonna get better. But you let it rain so you don't forget it. I know my identity, failures won't define me. I don't have to fear 'cause I trust His love. I know could ever make. It's gonna get better, but you let it race, all you done for me. It's gonna get better, there was no mistake I could ever make. It's gonna get better, but you let it race, all you done for me. I walk through the valley, the shadow, I'm ready for all you have for me, all you have for me. No matter where you lead, as long as you're with me, I'm where I need to be. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. There is no mistake I could ever make. It's gonna get better, but you let it race, all you done for me. It's gonna get better. There is no mistake I could ever make. It's gonna get better, but you let it race, all you done for me. I walk through the valley, the shadow, I'm ready for all you have for me. All you have, it's gonna get better. Gonna get, it's gonna get better.
Wake up and go, 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 go. The Breakfast Club.
WVVC FM.
He is jealous for me. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us, oh, oh, how he loves us, how he loves us, oh. And he is jealous for me. Love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. When all of a sudden I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory, and I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are for me. And oh, how he loves us, oh, oh, how he loves us, how he loves us, oh. Yeah, he loves us. Oh, how he loves us.
8:01 on the Breakfast Club, and it's a beautiful, rainy.
Actually,
Friday
it's
morning.
a lot better than it was when this week started out.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you, when I got in the car this morning, no jacket necessary.
This week started out.
And now it's going to be mid-70s today. And you know what? I'm one of those guys. I love a good storm. Although, working in radio, you don't necessarily like to hear the word thunderstorm.
The thunderstorms are going to be late today.
Yes.
And probably into the evening. And most of the rain is going to be happening tonight, according to our gurus at the National Weather Service.
Yeah, the gurus, yes.
Yeah.
But, like I said, winter just hung on for so long. This is a beautiful change of pace that I'm thrilled.
Yes, indeed.
Thrilled to
It
have.
is wonderful to have it.
And your weather forecast brought to you by Big Apple Music on the corner of 5 and 5A down there in New Hartford.
732-3502. If you got a band, you need Big Apple.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Friday, it will be breezy with rain. Our highs will be in the mid-60s. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy and breezy with lows in the mid-40s. For tomorrow, Saturday, early cloudy skies will become partly cloudy later in the day. Our highs will be in the upper 60s. For Saturday night, we will see partly cloudy skies in the evening, giving way to a chance for occasional showers on the overnight. Our lows will be near 50. For the long-range outlook, we will see chances for rain over the weekend with partly sunny skies in the new week as temperatures will be in the 60s to 70s. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
First on your FM dial, WVVC Dolgeville, Utica, Rome. Inspo Radio 88.1 FM.
After a season of nightfalls and pushbacks, after the heartache of wrong turns and sidetracks, just when they think they got you game, set, match, here comes a comeback. Just cause you laid low, got up slow, unsteady, don't mean you blacked out or bowed out, you're ready. Just when they think there's nothing left running on empty, here comes a comeback. This is your time, your moment. The fight, you're golden. You've come so far, keep going. Here comes a comeback. You feel the lightning, the thunder, your soul shakes under the roar of the heaven. The tide breaks, and from the ashes you will take your place. Here comes a comeback. This is your time, your moment. The fight, you're golden. You've come so far, keep going. Here comes a comeback. Just when they think they got you game, set, match. Here comes a comeback. This is your time, your moment. The fight, you're golden. You've come so far, keep on going. Here comes a comeback. You're coming, you're coming. You're coming, you're coming. Here comes a comeback.
sorry.
Thank you, Al. She does it so much better than you do.
8:06 on the Breakfast Club, and it is a Friday morning.
Looking a little shiny there downtown on the traffic cam.
Yeah, it's glistening is the word. Glistening.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Glistening.
Glistening. Yeah, and it's that time. Your headlines brought to you by Dr. Uniforms down there on Oriskany Street West in Utica.
If you need glistening new uniforms.
Yeah. If you need scrubs, if you're a nurse, if you are working in corrections, they've got the wallets, the boots.
The little badge holder thingies.
Yep. Security.
Nice place to put your handcuffs.
Yeah, they got the security stuff, the shirts that say security and all
cool
that other
shoes,
fun stuff.
good shoes for people that are on their feet all day long.
Absolutely. Make sure you tell Tony that you heard it here on WVVC. Their phone number, 315-266-0093.
Now, your local headlines from the Breakfast Club.
And fire crews from at least 3 fire departments responded to a barn fire in the town of Trenton last night. Crews from Holland Patton, Barneveld, and Stittville called right around 7 o'clock last night to a barn fire on Powell Road. First arriving crews reported a heavy smoke condition, but the barn was used for storage, so no injuries reported as a result of that fire. Police called to the Walmart in North Utica around 1:20 yesterday after someone called the customer service line and made a threat to the store and its customers. I wonder if they threatened to go into the store.
I thought you were going to say somebody wasn't wearing a mask.
I was going to say, I wonder if they threatened to go in the store without a mask. That's what I'm wondering. When officers arrived, they contained the store and did a security sweep looking for suspicious individuals or activity. Found nothing. See, this seems to be the way. People are bored, they're stuck at home, they're calling Walmart and saying...
Well, you see, now that school's out, you can't do the bomb threats to the school.
There you go.
Remember back in the day?
So now Walmart...
When that was a thing?
Walmart's the target. Police say they're going to release updates on the incident as they arise, but Walmart will remain open for normal business hours at this time.
Notice they aren't threatening barbershops.
There you go. And heavy police presence at a mobile home park in the town of Winfield. Technically, Cedarville is more proper. But, yeah, when neighbors say they heard a loud explosion around 7 a.m., okay? Yeah, so needless to say, a SWAT team raided a home in a mobile home park in Cedarville.
I wonder if the boom came first or the SWAT team came first.
From what I'm hearing, it was... They said it was a bang, and people looked out their windows, and they saw
the SWAT team.
So the question was the bang them kicking the door open, or was the bang them... Can you imagine them using a flashbang to wake somebody up at 7 a.m.?
I would say it depends upon what kind of
suspect
you have inside, yeah.
That's true. Being that it is Homeland Security investigating, it really makes you wonder.
You know, if it's Homeland Security, I wouldn't think it was this, but I could also think that it might have been a meth lab, which are highly volatile.
They are, but if it's a meth lab, if they suspected a meth lab, I couldn't see them throwing something explosive into the place first.
Well, the bang might have been like when you do something that opened the door and maybe you set off a spark or something like that, and you pop off the vapors, because anything can pop off the vapors.
Yeah, that is true.
You know.
Yeah, so Homeland Security investigating. State police have confirmed that, but no other information being given out at this time. And the next story, of course, a story of desperation and stupidity. New Hartford police have arrested a man accused of attempting to rob 2 separate stores on Wednesday. Okay, police say 31-year-old, and I'm not even going to say his name, allegedly...
If at first you don't succeed...
Try again. Allegedly walked into Cliff's local market, 17 Genesee Street, just before 10 a.m., handed the cashier a note instructing her to empty the cash register and she would not get hurt, suggesting he had a gun in his jacket pocket. And, you know, the folks on Genesee Street are a pretty rough bunch. The cashier said, "Get out of here. Just get out of here."
Good for the cashier.
Later that day, police received another attempted robbery call from West Utica, and there they were able to, apprehend that suspect, and they determined it was the same guy.
There is a cashier that is not a sheeple.
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's like, all right, look, dude.
Yeah.
Come on.
The guy was charged with second-degree attempted
He's probably
robbery.
the guy that escaped out the back door of the trailer of the meth lab in Winfield.
But some of the things that you see, like these people who rob banks in stores, like in Utica, There was the instance where the guy dressed as Santa Claus tried to rob a bank here in Utica. That's a crack up. Okay,
Put the money in the sack.
And then you got the guy in the plaid.
Rudolph needs a carrot.
You had the guy with the plaid coat, the flannel jacket, and the hunter's cap. Elmer Fudd, Utica, robbing a bank. I'm like, come on, people. Are you that far gone? Oh, man.
And then, of course, we had... I don't know if you're done.
Well, one more quick note.
But wait, there's more?
Yeah, but wait, there's more. Judges, chamber staff, and some clerks will be returning to work at their respective courthouses on Monday. But, you know what's not going to be making their way back to the courthouses quite yet?
What?
Defendants. They're not going to be holding their trials with people there because, you know, coronavirus, all corona. All the time. That's all your local stuff. What's going on outside?
That wasn't all the local stuff. You forgot the bee report.
Oh, I forgot the bee report.
Yesterday in New York Mills, Miss Kimmy in the garden sees a swarm of bees, and she calls me, and I end up walking down the street following the bee swarm, and I want to try to get the bee swarm to settle as soon as I can.
I'm just upset that Miss Kimmy didn't take pictures.
So, actually, Miss Kimmy went looking for me. Because I went one way following the bee swarm, and she thought
you went
she went looking for the bee swarm in a different direction in case I was going the wrong way. So and actually there may be some, but it was after the bees were settled. But I'm walking down New York Mills, clanging pots and pans, trying to get, because I had heard earlier, it might have been a Farmer's Almanac story, that if you ring a cowbell, it makes the bee swarm settle. So when we were in an appropriate position and I thought that there were suitable spots for the bees to settle down, I'm banging these pots in somebody's backyard behind these apartments, you know, and there's people kind of like looking at me. And eventually a nice lady comes out with her talking in her cell phone and says, "What are you doing in my backyard?" And I said, "Well, there's these bees in your yard, and I would like to try to get them if I can. And if you want me to go away, I'll go away. But if you would like, I will try to harvest the bees and put them in a bee box and get them out of your backyard."
Yeah.
And she said, "You go." You go to it. Not go leave, but you go to it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing when you see somebody suspicious in your yard.
Banging pots and pans.
Especially if they have pots and pans.
Hey, I'm from a trailer in Winfield.
Maybe this guy's not entirely stable.
Yeah, but she was very nice, and we did rescue the bees, give them a new home, and put them back in the backyard where they came from.
Well, there you go. There you go. See, God bless you. I can't be like, if there were a swarm of bees, I would be the other direction.
Actually, what was really cool, it was one of those learning experiences, because I had to get the bees off of a trunk of a tree that was kind of like at about 45 degrees. And so the thing is, if the bees are on a branch, you can like hopefully cut the branch, take the swarm, which actually is heavier than you would think. This I have found out, that's a whole nother story, and we don't want to talk about that story. That's the unsuccessful beekeeper story.
Gotcha.
I actually used a snow brush, just like you would on your car, and ended up brushing bees into a paper bag until the paper bag, a regular grocery bag, until the paper bag started to get some weight to it, walked it down off the ladder over to the beehive, turned the bag upside down, shaking the bees into the hive, and they would start to go down. But now most of the swarm is still on the trunk, so back up the ladder. And I did this like for about half an hour.
So you're saying you had fun.
It was an interesting learning experience, because there is actually a way of treating the bees where they know when the man with the snow brush is coming. He's not really attacking us. He is doing something. And if you are cool about it, and if you use the brush the right way, that is what I learned yesterday. How to use the brush the right way. You don't swipe them like it's snow on a car. You actually, like it. Maybe it's your daughter's hair.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? And you don't want to hit the scalp too hard, and you don't want to hit crush the bees into the thing.
So how many times did you get stung yesterday?
I actually got stung once when I was following the swarm up into the backyard, and I'm looking up, and I'm following the bees, and I'm seeing the swarm, and I'm looking and I'm seeing where they're going, and all of a sudden I have a tingle on my shoulder, and I start to scratch my shoulder, and it was actually a bee that was walking on my collarbone, and because I rolled the bee and squished the bee, the bee stung me. But actually I had bees that were like walking on me and landing on me as I was there. And if you are there, they're homeless, they're confused, they're trying to figure out a way. So actually, if you can kind of like just give them a little flick, they'll go right off. You don't
what kind of bees are these?
These are honeybees.
Okay. Oh yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. They're honeybees. They're not.
They're not aggressive. They're not.
They're those. What are the something hornets? Murder hornets?
Not.
They're not murder hornets.
They're not murder hornets. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So now we've got the local news done.
All right, there you go. So what's going on nationally?
So speaking of busy bees, the DNC communications director said this: the convention must happen because we are not officially nominating Joe Biden. Have you got that, Al?
This is going to be really interesting.
Everybody else drops out.
Is Bernie going to find his way back on?
Bernie gets burned again. And now he finds out that, hey, you know what? At the convention where Joe Biden is the only...
He's the
only one nominated.
The presumptive nominee at this point.
Yes, because he won.
And everybody knows he's the presumptive nominee, except probably him. He's taking a nap.
I mean, so why do they hold these elections? You know, so that you can, vote for the person that you want. Why go through the whole process if when you get to the conference, you are not even going to have the guy that was elected put in?
Mm-hmm.
So her first name's kind of tough. Zodal Hinojosa.
Sue.
The communications director for the Democratic National Committee sparked confusion this week after stating during an appearance on Fox News that it is crucial for the party to hold its convention because they are not officially nominating Joe Biden in order to take Donald Trump.
I'm declaring today any name that we can't pronounce. We're just going to give them a different name.
I'm saying, Al, there may be an opportunity here for you. Maybe if you show up at the convention, Al.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going against Biden. It can't be that hard.
Yeah. I'm not a Democrat, but I play one on TV.
You can play one on the radio.
Yeah.
There you go. And who knows, Al? I mean, if you're going against Biden, I think you got a pretty fair chance.
That's true. Well, anybody has a fair chance going against Biden.
Now that we got our new translator going out in Rome, I mean, we're doubling your opportunity. So, frankly, I think that you can get some write-in votes here.
There you go. There you go. Well, I am popular.
Yes. So we had this little tweet coming from Lauren Boebert, who is a Republican congressperson in Colorado's 3rd District, said, somebody should probably tell Joe Biden that the DNC communications director just said this on national television, because I'll bet you Joe don't know.
Yeah, probably. Well, when they wake him up to take his meds... they could tell him about that. Yeah.
And President Trump celebrated Wednesday after 2 Republican victories overnight in the special elections in Wisconsin and California. In California, a seat was flipped that has not been red since 1998. And it's been a blue seat for a long time, finally turned red. And in Wisconsin, the Republicans held on to a seat. And actually, the Republican won by a pretty good margin, 14, 15 points. Also, on all COVID all the time news.
All COVID all the time.
The Michigan judge sides with the barber, rejecting Governor Gretchen Whitmer's demand to close the shop.
And the governor's response, let's suspend his licenses.
Suspend his license. Okay. So our gentleman here, it is Mr. Mankey, tried reapplying 3 times for unemployment insurance. His unemployment insurance ran out. He's got no income. And he said 3 times he tried to reapply for unemployment. And it was not forthcoming. So he reopens his shop. And the governor got mad, and the governor sued him. And then a judge overturns the ruling.
Yep.
And now they, as you said in the New York Times, we found out that the governor pulled his license on him.
Yep. That's what happens when you go against those powers.
So in Kentucky, we got the church Nazis, where there's no singing in church.
No singing in church.
Okay.
No haircut for you.
No haircut for you.
That's right. That's right. Welcome
So
to
we got the governmental Nazis coming down around us, Al.
This is the age of the COVID.
Yeah. So let's see. With all the things that have been going on, earlier reported that Adam Schiff was withholding as much evidence as he could in the Flynn case. He did not want those handwritten notes that said, well, how do we set up Flynn? How do we do this? Do we try to corner him this, or do we corner him on that? And they actually had an entire plan written out so that they could corner Flynn.
And only the Democrats are smart enough to write everything on paper so somebody can find it.
But here's another height of hypocrisy from those that ride the donkey, okay?
Okay.
Holder, the former attorney general for Obama, says Barr has supported the effort to keep documents away from Congress. Now, these guys have been fighting for years to keep that information away from Congress. And the Republicans have had to use every tool in the book to try to get these reports released. And, I have got a good one along the same lines. There's what's called, I believe it is a 503. When you're investigated by the FBI, okay. This is goes right along the same lines. They have what is called, I believe it's called the 503.
Okay.
So, Al, what happens is if I want to question you, I take you into a room and we do the questioning, and then that procedure is called the 5013, and then there's documents that come off the 5013. It seems like the FBI lost the 5013 when they interviewed Flynn.
Oh, imagine.
They can't find it. The FBI lost documents interviewing a 3-star general.
Interesting.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is like, and now Holder is saying that the current attorney general is withholding information.
Yeah. Imagine.
They lost the records.
The height of hypocrisy.
They lost Hillary's emails. Well, we can't find them. We can't find them. And it's like, meanwhile, the guys over at one of the other 3-letter agencies are going, nothing is ever lost.
That's right.
We have it somewhere.
They know everything.
Okay, Clapper does not recall what prompted him to make a request on behalf for unmasking Flynn. He did it 3 times.
3 times.
He made 3 requests. As a matter of fact, there was a request from the Italian ambassador to get into this information. What does the Italian ambassador have to do? Anything to do?
That's a very
with
very good
with
question.
Flynn stuff. This is like a crazy go nuts kind of stuff. Okay, and you know about Mr. Biden and kind of like his wayward ways, but he forgot, Tara Reid.
Oh yeah,
it's like nothing to do. But also when he was vice president, when he wanted to go swimming in the morning, totally in the nude. His female Secret Service agents had to put up with this. So he did this almost every day.
We're going to have to put up a rule here, Walt, because people are probably eating breakfast. I don't think anybody wants to think about Biden in his birthday suit. I'm just throwing that out there.
Joe don't know.
Yeah, Joe wandered into the laundromat again in the nude because he was sleepwalking. That's Joe. That's...
Mitch McConnell says there's a high likelihood the Senate will pass another stimulus bill, but he also said there's a high likelihood it's not going to look anything like what Nancy has come up with so far.
Yeah, I can imagine that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 8:25 right now. We're gonna go ahead and cap that news.
But wait, Al, there's more.
Oh no.
But we'll have to save it for next time.
Yeah, we'll save that for next time. 8:26 right now.
And don't forget, in a few minutes, Miss Kimmy's Garden Report is coming up.
Yeah. Dobson's Family Minute brought to you by New Testament Church.
New Testament Church at the corner of Route 69 and 233 on the south side of Rome. Pastor Majid welcomes you with open doors as soon as they are available. But this Sunday, we are going to have a parking lot service. We're going to have a drive-in service, and you can tune in on your FM radio, and we're going to do it all in the parking lot.
Terrific.
That's at 6772 Lanphier Road in Rome.
Well, that's a malfunction.
A dramatic intro to Dr. James Dobson's Family Talk.
I do not know what happened there. That was very, very interesting. Okay, we're going to try this one more time, all right? Gotta love technical difficulties.
Stand by.
And here he is, James Dobson. He's not playing an electric guitar. So here we go.
The Breakfast Club on Inspo Radio, WVVC-TV.
The next time you take an evening stroll, notice the sidewalks framing the streets of your neighborhood. You know, they were put there for good reason. I heard a story recently of a college campus undergoing an ambitious expansion project. After several new wings and buildings had been constructed, it was time to put in the sidewalks. But instead, they decided to wait a year, during which time they could monitor the traffic patterns of the students. Then they could position the sidewalks along the most worn paths through the campus. Well, I don't have to tell you how the experiment turned out. At the end of the year, well-worn trails ran serpentine throughout the campus, weaving in all directions, and the lawn was a literal wreck. Though the idea may have sounded good on paper, the results proved chaotic. The fact is, people need sidewalks. They provide order and direction, like concrete maps leading from one building to the next. And they should be planned, not left to chance. Well, the same is true when it comes to parenting. Children need sidewalks too. Clear, concrete paths guiding them through the world. They need to know this is where you should walk and this is where you shouldn't. And those parameters must be well thought out and implemented and not left to chance. Kids need to know which direction you think they ought to go. When deprived of that guidance, they often meander aimlessly through the formative years of their life in search of meaning.
To find out how you can partner with Family Talk, go to drjamesdobson.org.
Yeah, it is 28 minutes past 8 o'clock now that we've got our technical fun under control. Wow!
A minor correction from our previous news report. We were talking about the FBI investigating Flynn and that there's this missing report. It's not a 502, it's a 302.
All right. Okay.
So now that everybody is resting easy with that bit of information.
Oh, man. Yeah.
All righty.
8:29, your weather forecast brought to you
by Media Partners Group. Media Partners Group, 188 Main Street in New York Mills. Their number is 768-0277. And coming up soon, we have Miss Kimmy's Garden Report, and Miss Kimmy is in the house.
Now, your Breakfast Club weather forecast.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Friday, it will be breezy with rain. Our highs will be in the mid-60s. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy and breezy with lows in the mid-40s. For tomorrow, Saturday, early cloudy skies will become partly cloudy later in the day. Our highs will be in the upper 60s. For Saturday night, we will see partly cloudy skies in the evening, giving way to a chance for occasional showers on the overnight. Our lows will be near 50. For the long-range outlook, we will see chances for rain over the weekend with partly sunny skies in the new week as temperatures will be in the 60s to 70s. With your weather forecast, I'm Kevin James on WVVC Utica, New York.
The Breakfast Club on Inspo Radio, WVVC-FM.
Thy kingdom come, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. They say we're all in the pursuit of happiness.
A life so fabulous.
So we fight for what's ours like an activist. The struggles here we can find across the atlas. And it all started when Adam gave up his own palace. Now the earth waits for its rightful owner. 2,000 years ago the second Adam told us the kingdom is at hand, died for the sins of man, just so he can bring us back to his original plan, where we rule over the land and meet every demand. And nature awaits for us keys to take a stand, but we need to understand that we can change circumstances. Kingdom is in us, so we choose when to advance. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, for me, cry for me. Also, I can call you when I'm so in need. The promises you spoken, my heart was always broken. Cause you gave the keys to life, but in my pride I had them stolen. They say you still redeem us, bring us to a place where we can see the keys can never be stolen. They just misplaced, so we rise from the ashes, stand for the masses, proclaim the victory is ours, and so we never give up. Even though times get hard to understand, it's never enough for us to sit back and hope he has a plan. We gotta stand up and face the cold with a boldness that is focused on the fact we got the keys, so just believe there's nothing closed. And it's all because you got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. We ain't never giving up the keys now. We ain't never giving up. We ain't never giving up the keys. No, we ain't never know. We ain't never know.
So many promises you gave, and we just turned and walked away. But now I see the price you paid was enough for us to live victorious.
You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now. You got the keys inside this kingdom. Lift up your head, it's only begun. Keep holding on and you'll see the sun. Everybody singing now.
That's Group 1 Crew right there. 8:33 on the Breakfast Club, and it is that time again.
Alrighty, we got cool stuff coming up. So it is time for the Miss Kimmy Garden Report. Welcome, Miss Kimmy.
Oh, you know what would help? Talk about technical stuff? I probably should open her microphone.
Seeing as how we go.
There she is.
But we don't mind John Denver in the background there.
Nah.
This garden grow.
So this morning I woke up and asked Walt, what do May flowers bring? Walt, do you remember what you told me?
I told you.
I'm sorry, I got it. What do May showers bring?
May showers bring Kimmy flowers.
No.
That's what you said.
That's what I said. What did you say?
I said...
they bring wet flowers.
Wet flowers.
Good morning.
It was morning. I was still kind of like half asleep.
Yeah.
So, Miss Kimmy, this week started off really cold.
Oh, what an interesting week. It was...
Yeah, we went from 27 to 70-something.
Yes. I'm at a little advantage where we are in New York Mills as opposed to West Winfield and a lot of the different little villages where you saw a little more snow than we did because that meant that the nights got colder. So there would have been more challenge keeping, if somebody did plant early, keeping them warm. I did not even, although Walt was a little bit fretting about having me cover up things, I didn't.
I was more worried about the baby plants in the garden than Miss Kimmy was.
I looked at it. If I had decided to go that a cover-up way, what I would have done is kept the cover on for a long time. They did withstand a lot of cold, but the cold doesn't allow them to grow. They just stay there And not necessarily. Once the warm weather hits, then they'll take off. By putting on a layer of some kind of agra-fabric, or sometimes it's called fleece, or some kind of official row cover, and keeping it on for a couple of weeks, it would have kept them a little warmer. Maybe they would have been a little farther ahead.
Or
but they're
an
happy.
old sheet or a worn-out tablecloth.
That would have just been for a one-night thing. I'm talking about keeping something on for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Then they would have been a little bit warmer, maybe a little bit farther ahead. But I wanted to really see about pushing the envelope. And there's a reason why I'm really experimenting in pushing the envelope. I'm becoming more and more aware over the many, many, many years that I've gardened that New York, I don't recall if it was like this when I was a very young gardener, but certainly what happens is we go from a very cold spring where you may have some nice days, but we do get those snows and those frost and things. Every time we think it's going to warm up, we go backwards. And then from there, we go into what looks like is going to be forecasted for the next 10 days. What do we have? Nice, warm weather. So we go from cold spring to almost too warm spring. Now, too warm spring is good for some vegetables, but I want to do the cold weather vegetables. There's certain things aren't
like
happy.
The spinach will bolt when it warms up
Even
too
the
much.
lettuce a little bit later with the peas. So if you don't have them in the ground early, you don't have a long season. Of course, there's some varieties you could plant to extend that, but I just really want to hone my skills in getting
Maximize the
things,
season.
Maximize the season, especially now when who knows what's going on with the supply chain.
Yeah. There's a little more excitement in the supply chain than we would really like.
Yeah.
So how did the vegetables fare? In the baby vegetables and the asparagus?
Well, let's talk about the asparagus first. I ran around and got some canning jars, and every place that I saw a asparagus spear coming out of the ground, and at this point some of them might be 2 inches high.
What did you call that? You put
cloche. I put a cloche, so a clear little canning jar over each sprout spear, and it was a mixed success. Some of them looked frozen. It could be because the first day we had a frost, I didn't think it was going to frost, so I didn't cover them. And asparagus
so you were a little late with your cloche.
I may have been, but there are others that they didn't grow, but they didn't freeze. So the cloches are off now. Next few days, we're going to have a nice asparagus harvest. I mean, we've got more than...
Because the asparagus is already popping through. We actually had one that was just barely big enough to be edible, right?
We now have, I think in 2-3 days, we're going to be able to, we got like 15, 16 that will probably
that
be
are
able
popping,
to harvest.
yes. But we had one that was big enough to harvest.
Oh, there are, well, that might have been the one that got frozen.
Okay.
But no, we've got a number now that are like 2 inches high, maybe 3. So, a couple of days we'll be able to have a treat.
Yep.
So onto that is what I call the baby vegetable bed, and that was a bed that I put in very, very early. I think I planted it in February, and they did sit there for a while. Once the weather started getting nicer, they did sprout in, and I check it every day. And I've been watching this closely. This is the one that I'm trying to push the season with.
Right. In the baby vegetable garden, we have lettuce.
We have various kinds of lettuce, spinaches, radishes. I planted parsley.
Parsley, okay.
Maybe a couple other things, but the main things were the things that you mentioned. And the radishes are happy. And we've had minor little tastings where I would pick just maybe 3 marble size radishes a couple of days ago. Yesterday I went out and there is actually one that is starting to look like it's normal size. So in the next few warm days, we're going to be having some nice radishes and things. And everything else is looking good. The spinach, I think in a few days and within a week we'll be having a decent harvest. The lettuce is coming up and is sprouted. So we're happy.
And what else are we doing?
Okay, well, we're getting into warm weather, so this is now going to be my real busy in the garden season. And I have a particular order.
That means I'm going to have a lot of work to do, Al. That's what she's saying.
There you go.
Actually, because the beds are prepped, I'm going to put you on other little chores, just digging new beds or something like that.
Some of the work I already did, but there's still a lot of work.
Yes.
All right. So I have a particular order of what I'm going to be attacking, planting things in. So the first things I'm going to finish up on any of the cold-loving plants. And that would be, I still have kales that we've been starting indoors, and we may be planting kale seeds also, more lettuces, seeds, and transplants, and things like that, get the cold-loving things in. Then we're going to move on to peas. We have peas that are now, I'd say 4 inches or more, depending on the variety. They were planted. So I'm just going to fuss among them, weed them a little bit, make sure that they have supports and they're not going to be going into...
Now, we also have peas in the garden room, right?
No, those were all planted out.
Oh, they are. They are all planted out.
But in the garden room, I do have beans. So after the peas have been fussed with, and I might plant a few more pea seeds. We'll see how that goes. I do have beans. Probably planted them a little early. I was hoping to get them in the ground at the beginning of the week, so they grow fast. But I have big-sized, good-sized, various kinds of beans that I'm going to transplant into the ground. I have pole beans that actually I probably have gone over 6 inches.
But beans are more of a warm weather plant, so they would not have tolerated.
They would not at all. The tiniest little bit of frost would bite them, so would hurt them. So
Al knows about the snow bite.
I do.
Yes.
Bites me all the time.
Yes. So this is why there's a particular order. I'm going to start with the things that are more cold tolerant. And then go on to the beans. After the beans, I'll probably do flowers. I have flowers I've started and flower seeds. And I always like to put some flowers in the vegetable bed. That will attract not only our bees, but other native bees, and that will help pollinate various vegetables. After that, and probably after just doing some other lawn work, so that won't be until the end of the month. That's when I'm probably going to plant out tomatoes and basils, and after that, the very last things will be peppers, and I have okra this year and maybe some eggplant. Those things, even though there's not going to be any frost, they love the heat. So those are the things you want to give them as much heat as possible, so keep them warm and safe.
Now, when are we going to put the corn in?
Corn?
I want to know about the corn. Oh, there's okra, the peas are nice, and the beans. Kim really likes beans because beans are one of those things when they start coming in, they can keep coming in, and we keep picking the beans, and Kimmy loves to can the beans. Yep. So Kim really likes beans because they produce a lot of food for the space that you put them in. She's not that big a corn fan.
I love to eat fresh corn.
Kim, if you want me working in the garden, we are going to have corn.
Corn, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, being just in a smallish village lot, corn, to have enough corn to freeze and decan is not going to happen unless. Right. So we just basically do a bed 4x10, 4x12, and that's dedicated.
So that around corn. August, when we want corn, we can walk back there, pull off a couple cobs of corn.
Shuck
them right there.
We will be eating corn.
Throw them in the compost pile. Bring the corn cobs into the house and drop them in the pot.
Yep.
That's about how fast we can produce corn.
And we'll be eating corn daily for a while.
Love corn.
It is wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. So I did plant corn inside the grow room, and it's now about 2 inches tall, more or less, and I have a couple different varieties, just a few of each, and I'm going to transplant those, and then the rest of the beds will be different varieties, so I will have a succession of corn, so it all won't go ripe at the same time.
Right. So you have corn that's growing in the garden room right now.
I have two kinds. I have an earlier and a little bit of a later corn. Those will both be planted out at the same time, but that's two different. That'll extend the harvest.
As we put that corn in, we'll put seeds in the ground so that we have, when the corn comes in, we have the early corn coming in.
Then
a week or two later, when it comes time to harvest corn, now the later corn is coming in.
Yep.
And now the later corn that we put seeds in the ground, so we stretch out the corn season.
Yep.
By successive planting.
Makes sense.
Miss Kimmy taught me that. That's how I know that.
You learned well.
Yeah.
Then you taught me about banging the pots for the bees.
Actually, like I said, I think I got it from the Farmer's Almanac or someplace like that. And I was like, might as well try it. We have an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it worked. You just look like a freak walking down the street, banging pots, chasing bees.
Well, since you're talking about bees, I would like to talk about how bees fit in what we do. And I don't mean just as pollinators, but about Little Homestead in the Village. That is my blog site. You can Google Little Homestead in the Village and see Miss Kimmy the Barefoot Gardener at a blog spot. That's harder to find.
And
so
you can see pictures of me sweeping
I
bees
am
into
going
a
to
paper
put
bag.
that. I'm going to be putting that up today.
Nice.
But I will explain why I call it Little Homestead in the Village, and Barefoot Gardens and all of that. A number of years ago, I saw what we were doing, the way we were living. We weren't quite living the typical suburban life, the really nice vehicles and,
the manicured lawn.
No
dandelions.
Things like that. And we just, and looking
That's
at,
not us.
I have a lot of skills with gardening and cooking and knowledge on plants and on things. Walt can fix all kinds of things, woodworking skills, and I noticed that we seldom needed to call in an expert to do something, and between the two of us, we were pretty independent. We weren't relying and don't want to rely on the government for things.
Right.
We taught our children to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so I discussed I'm pretty much a homesteader, except I don't have that big farmland.
Right.
So I'm doing homesteading, and homesteading is being independent. So because I'm in the village, I can't sweat the things I can't do. I would love to have fresh milk out of a cow, and I'd love to have the goat and the sheep. That's not happening.
Yeah.
No, the codes guy would.
Kim did mention that she said small village lot, but actually we have a double wide, double deep lot.
But the whole thing is just a little less than half an acre. So once you put our big house on it, and our garage and the chicken coop, and we have a lot of lawn where the kids used to play, and I have a lot of flower gardens. I have a lot of old things, So the vegetable beds are we're big for the village, but not big far as somebody who's got that farmstead.
Yeah.
But so it's an attitude of independence, and we want to take our skills that we know and share them with other people and teach other people.
And actually, we do. We have our kids' friends when it comes time to harvest honey. We'll call them and say, "Hey, you guys want to help us harvest honey?" And they'll go out in the beehives with me, and we'll pull frames of honey and we'll spin them out and get the honey off, and we'll teach them stuff about the garden. And Miss Kimmy is really good about showing them the garden and how it comes out, and it's real an education for a lot of our kids' friends that like to come over, or even the neighbors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Actually, we had a fan show up to buy some plants.
I make a little extra money by selling little plants, little extra things that I'm dividing, things I've got in the house, and somebody came over and she was asking me a lot of questions. So I said, you know what? I'm on the radio every Friday. And I gave her the information, and she said, wait, is that Christian radio station that I listen to? And I said, well, do you listen to the Breakfast Club with Al and Walt? And she said, yes. I pointed to Walt. Well, here's Walt.
I'm the morning man. She goes, oh, you guys are great. You crack me up. And it was live and in person.
Yeah. You got a fan club, Walt.
So if you're listening, I forgot her name, but a shout out to you, and thank you for stopping by the Barefoot Gardens and Little Homestead
giving a
in the
thumbs
Village.
up to the Breakfast Club.
Yes.
Yeah. Love that. Love that.
So it's going to be a busy time now. We only got a few more minutes.
Yeah, it's
Miss Kimmy.
8:49.
So what are we looking forward to now?
Well, as I said, we are going to be doing a very, very busy running out and trying to get these plants planted in order. And if I can interject, this is also a time of year. Not only do I love plants in the garden, but I do love to go out into the woods, go out into nature, go wild mushroom hunting and looking for other vegetables that only can be found in the woods, things like ferns and wild leeks and things like that. So it's a real push. But am I going to spend the time in the garden? Or please, can I get away because mushroom season for this particular, for morels is so short, I've just got to go out there.
The morels should be popping like
we got to go. I've got to get out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And morels, they are the choicest mushroom that is out there.
At least this time of year.
They last 2-3 weeks.
2 weeks, but basically.
They are out there. And there is a very particular time that you have to be out there. They are hard to find. They are not that numerous, so not only are they really good eating, but they kind of like to hide.
Aha!
And only certain kinds of trees and areas. So.
Yeah, only certain kind of woods they grow in. And Miss Kimmy is a member of the Mushroom Club, Mohawk Valley Mushroom Club. And so I have kind of like learned some stuff. And what I also have learned is that just the world of mushrooms is an entire world all by itself. I mean, it is amazing how many varieties and how much and how interactive, believe it or not, mushrooms in the mycelium are interactive in our environment. It just gets more amazing the more and more you peel back, and the more and more you're like,
There's
holy cow.
Lot to learn out there.
Yep.
Always learning. So even though Walt might say, hey, Kim, you're an expert, it's always, I may know a little more than some people, but there's so much more to learn.
In a lot of plants, Miss Kimmy is really great, but in mushrooms, she knows that much, and we do know people that know
that much.
much.
Well, here's the thing about life, and I've always found it this way. You want to live a great life, always be learning.
Absolutely.
There's no ending to learning.
Absolutely. Yes.
And for me, somebody who knows that mushrooms are those things you buy in the little package with the plastic over the top, that was button mushrooms. And what I knew about button mushrooms is they grow a lot of them in caves in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I know very little about mushrooms. I know that's where Smurfs live. Mushrooms. That's what I know about mushrooms.
Yep, I was like way up there on the ladder. But when we started learning, and Kim already knew some fair stuff about mushrooms, but we joined this club and we started finding out more and more and more and more. And I am like, in the mushroom club, I am like the bottom of the ladder guy that knows anything about anything. And my knowledge about mushrooms since we joined the club has increased by 100-fold. And for Miss Kimmy, it's probably gone up, who understands the mycelium and the mycology world and the plant world much better than I do.
All the other my stuff.
Probably gone up by 10,000-fold.
Yeah. All right. So,
speaking of my stuff, it's about my time to disappear.
Yeah, we're getting to be at the point where we got to start talking about the Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club.
Yes. And that means we've got to go and grab the swag bags. So,
Are there mushrooms in the swag bag?
There are no mushrooms in the swag bag, but we do have that board that shows people how to sign up for the Breakfast Club. So
we could put dried mushrooms in the swag bag.
Yeah. In the list, it's right next to garden. That would be the Breakfast Club tease board there, so we can show people on YouTube. Show people on YouTube how to sign up for their Breakfast Club.
Look at there. You can see on the radio how to sign up for the Breakfast Club.
You can see it right there on the radio.
So, Al, while we're looking at this, why don't you go grab the swag bag?
All right, hang on here. I'm just going to go in. All right.
Okay.
I just got to get this over. All right, hold on here.
Al, looks bigger this time.
Hold on.
I did say there was a sweet prize in there.
Oh, yes.
That must be it.
All right. Okay, your prize today, is a $25 gift card for Yetis and Herkimer.
Again, Yetis.
All right, and our winner is Max from Little Falls, our first entry from Little Falls.
Max.
All right.
You're a lucky person, Max, and if you want, you can call the station and invite me to join you when you go to Yetis and use up that $25 gift certificate.
Yeah.
Because the food at Yetis is awesome. Everything back there is homemade, and I love the upside-down pizza they have there at Yetis.
Oh, yeah. It is terrific. And that's going to do it for the Breakfast Club here this morning.
And before we leave, we do have a word of the day from Ecclesiastes 11:5.
All right.
Here we are. As you do not know the path of the wind, or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. So we hope you keep those words with you as you hang on through the weekend with bated breath, anticipating our Monday morning radio cast,
Hallelujah.
Which you can see on TV. You can see radio on the TV, Al.
Yes, you can.
If you tune in 40.5,
that's right.
If you have a TV antenna, then you can see Al and Walt on the radio in the Breakfast Club.
And there's few excitements greater than seeing us in the morning.
Yes.
Take care, everybody. See you Monday, 7 a.m.
Take care.
the stars in the sky, you know every grain of sand. But you reach for me, and your love that quiets all my fears. And you reach for me, like a father wipes away a tear. So many people in this world, but I hear you calling out my name. You reach for me, now I'm never gonna be the same. You reach for me, for me.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin James with a quick check of your WVVC weather forecast. For today, Friday, it will be breezy with rain. Our highs will be in the mid-60s. For tonight, it will be partly cloudy.